What we came here to do.
No, but it's what I'm going to do.
Hello there, people of YouTube, and welcome to the Spikehead podcast for another review where today I will be looking at 2017's Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins and starring Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, David Thewlis, and Danny Huston. This is the fourth film in the DCEU, and this was the first one where everyone watched it, or the majority of people watched it, and said, wow, DC made a very good movie. I am inclined to agree. But before I get into the review, guys, if you do like what I do on this channel, please feel free to drop a like and hit that subscribe button and let me know what your favourite DCEU movie is down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's dive right into this review. So this is about, obviously, the origin story of Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, and how she's been growing up on Themyscira her entire life until one day an American pilot, played by Chris Pine, crash lands outside Themyscira, and the Amazon woman find out about the Great War, World War One, which they believe is being dictated by the god of war Ares, who they blame for basically every war and all of mankind's aggression and hatred towards each other. Against her mother's better wishes, Diana sneaks off with a pilot to go and stop Ares, and by extension stop World War One. Wonder Woman is a fish out of water in this, and that is the main crux of this. She's got this childhood innocence that, even with this knowledge that she has learned over her years in the Themyscira and her knowledge in fighting and war, she doesn't really know that much about human nature, nor do most of the Amazon women. So to her, if she kills this one particular individual, she will stop the war and cause all of the world to coexist in peace. This, if we're not counting all the prior MCU films, this was the first female-led superhero movie. So we're discounting things like Elektra and Catwoman and Supergirl, which are all infamously bad movies. This was the first female-led superhero movie in the expanded universe era of superhero movies. And one of the film's strong points is it doesn't rely on that fact. For the most part, it's just about this woman who wants to save the world. This woman that thinks that everything has a simple solution to it, and she is a child in this adult woman's body learning all about the world, what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, how to carry herself, just questioning things in a childlike innocence. Remember when you're a child and you're always like, why can't the world just be peaceful and everyone love each other? Why is there so much hate? Why can't everyone just get along? And Diana goes through that exact same process. She is having that naivety in her mind that is slowly chipped away on. And she is stubborn. That's what I like about this character. She is stubborn and aggressive. She's not this pure, innocent, amazing personality. They do have flaws. They are very gullible. And there are a lot of just fun little scenes within this. The scene where she has ice cream for the first time. Hell of a lot of fun. But for the most part, her realising that it's not all just one particular individual, and it's not just everyone is black and white, good or bad. There are a lot of layers and depth to it, and a lot of grey area. The way she learns this is powerful and very creative, and Patty Jenkins did a great job of finding that balance of being the almighty hero but approaching things like war and the human condition in an objective way. And the side characters really make this as well. We have Chris Pine obviously playing the pilot, and they get a bunch of other characters. We got Charlie, who's played by Ewan Bremer of Trainspotting fame, fantastic actor. We've got the Chief, who's this guy from Indian descent. And we have Samir, who's basically just a spy who likes to con people. And at first, Diana's not a big fan of these people. She sees them as smugglers, murderers, liars, thieves. But she goes along with it because Steve says to her, I trust these guys. So they go to no man's land together, and things really cook off. What we really like about this is that they take time to develop this. They don't actually end up in the trenches until halfway through the film. I just rewatched it on Netflix. It is literally slap bang in the middle of the film. There was a good hour and 10-15 minutes of just setup, building her character, showing the legend, building the world, showing her leaving Themyscira, her meeting all these British people, seeing the politics of the war, discussion, getting to know the characters a little bit. It's just very well crafted and very nicely paced, which a lot of the early DC films did struggle with. Now, I will say, yes, I was not a big fan of the third act, mainly because a lot of the fight choreography, while it's shot really nice, you can't get over the fact that there is definitely a lot of CG in play, and it can be quite an eyesore. And especially in the final conflict, the CG is just overwhelming, and the colour jumps are just insane. But everything leading up to that last little bit is fantastic. The entire scene when she goes across no man's land, the fact that Steve is approaching her in this way of trying to explain things to a child. He's not trying to talk down to her, but he's also like, lady, can't you see? It's not as simple as you think. He's trying so hard to hold back, and it's great to see him finally let off at her. But just that bit in the trenches where he just says, look, this is not what we came here to do. We can't save everyone in this war. It's not what we came here to do. And she says, I know, but it's what I'm going to do. And she just gets up on that trench. Not to be a hero or anything. She just sees there are people in trouble, so I am going to save them. And I think in the simplest form, that's what all superheroes should strive to do. Not caring about themselves, just purely that person's in trouble, I'm going to go do that and save that person. And she tries so hard, and when her black and white view of the world is destroyed, it is heartbreaking. But for that glorious 10-15 minute sequence from the trenches right down to the clock tower, it is the highlight of this film by far. If I had to pick some other problems with this, I will say that Charlie's story was very underappreciated. From the get-go, it's hinted that he's got the PTSD, he's having nightmares, he can't even fire his sniper weapon off. And you're wondering where all this comes from. It's put aside as some sideways thing by Samir. You kind of want his arc to complete, and at the end he is shooting his gun, but there's no sort of real jump from him cowering to being ready to take the shot and try and save the world and get over his fears. There's like a 2-day gap. There is a 2-day gap in between the freezing up and him firing at the very end in film timeline. I just feel like they could have developed that a little bit more. So for some of the other characters, Chief talks about how his ancestors' lands got robbed by the white man, and Samir, he wants to be an actor, but as he bluntly says, he's not the right colour, which goes a long way in saying a lot of things. But those three characters all have very nice personalities, and I do hope we do get some small cameo from maybe an older version of these characters come the new Wonder Woman that comes out this year, because it's during the Cold War, and this is like 50 years later. So yeah, they'll be in the 70s pretty much, 70s, 80s, but they'll be old and they'll have aged. So I'm hoping for a small cameo from at least one of them, but I won't hold my breath for that. Ludendorff and Dr. Poison, while they're not on screen a lot, they are compelling villains and they're quite frightening. Particularly the dynamic between them is really interesting to watch, how reserved they are. We see what's happening, but Diana doesn't. Diana assumes one thing with Ludendorff, but anyone that is paying attention will see the complete opposite of what is going on. And I just suppose that, all in all, we wanted a film that just celebrated a hero, giving us a cohesive origin story with a good supporting cast around him, and just a nice simple story set in one of the world's most tragic conflicts. And Wonder Woman did a fantastic job of that. And it's so great to see that we got heroes like Black Widow coming out this year. We have A-Force potentially happening. Captain Marvel happened. Now, your opinions on that film may differ. And for me, that's definitely a diet version of this movie. But I can appreciate that Wonder Woman started this trend to say, hey, female-fronted superhero movies can succeed. Just make the character likeable and relatable, because Wonder Woman is what we all want to be. Someone that just has the ability to save the world and just wants to see the good in everyone, only to get their naive outlook on the world shot down. You can relate to that on several levels. You don't have to be a hero. Just purely having someone in your life that you want to see the best in, but actually there's a dark side to them that you're too blind to see, and when it does happen, it does hit you. Wonder Woman for me, it was definitely a big step in the right direction for the DCEU, and it is a very good film. It was my number one DCEU film, but I feel like Shazam did just about pip it. And you want to see my Shazam review, it'll be in the upper right corner over there somewhere. And for me personally, to summarise, Wonder Woman, very good character. Supporting cast is solid. There's some questionable CG. The villains are hit and miss. The final act is a bit weak, but I do love the variety of messages, and the fish out of water story is brilliant. Mix all that together, guys. Overall, I'm going to have to say that Wonder Woman is a good cup of tea. So, Wonder Woman, have you all seen it? If you have, let me know what you put down in the comments down below. And are you looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984? Will it get postponed? Let me know. And again, if you like what I do on this channel, please feel free to drop a like and hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 100. It is almost killing me. And until next time, guys, this is That Spikehead Podcast, signing off. Hey, thank you for watching, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. While you are here, if you haven't done it yet, please feel free to drop a like and consider hitting that subscribe button for more reviews coming all the time. And also, while you are here, there are some other videos over there that you might want to sink your teeth into. Have a good day, guys, and do enjoy.